Welcome. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of density-based clustering. Clustering is a fundamental technique in data analysis, helping us uncover hidden patterns and groupings within complex datasets. Unlike traditional clustering methods, density-based clustering focuses on the density of data points, making it especially powerful for discovering clusters of arbitrary shapes and handling noise. In this video, we'll explore what density-based clustering is, why it matters, and how it stands out from other clustering approaches. Let's begin our journey by understanding the basics of clustering and its importance in data science. Clustering is a process where we group similar data points together based on certain characteristics. Imagine you have a collection of objects, and you want to organize them so that similar items are placed in the same group. In data science, clustering helps us make sense of large datasets by revealing natural groupings. This technique is widely used in marketing, biology, image analysis, and more. By clustering data, we can identify trends, segment customers, or even detect anomalies. Now let's see how density-based clustering fits into this broader picture. There are several clustering methods, each with its own strengths. The most common types include partition-based, hierarchical, and density-based clustering. Partition-based methods like k-means divide data into a fixed number of clusters. Hierarchical methods build a tree of clusters showing relationships between groups. Density-based clustering, our focus today, identifies clusters based on the density of data points, allowing for more flexibility in cluster shapes and better handling of noise. Let's explore why density-based clustering is unique compared to the others. Density-based clustering stands out because it can find clusters of arbitrary shapes and is robust to noise and outliers. Unlike methods that require you to specify the number of clusters in advance, density-based approaches automatically discover the number of clusters based on the data's structure. This makes it ideal for real-world datasets where clusters aren't always spherical or evenly sized. Next, we'll look at the core concepts behind density-based clustering and how it works in practice. The heart of density-based clustering is the idea of density. In this context, density refers to how closely packed data points are within a region. A dense region contains many points close together, while sparse regions have fewer points. Clusters are formed by connecting dense regions, and areas with low density are considered noise or outliers. This approach allows the algorithm to adapt to the natural structure of the data, making it highly effective for complex datasets. Density-based clustering, a cluster is defined as a group of data points that are closely packed together, separated from other groups by areas of lower point density. This definition allows clusters to take on any shape, not just circles or ellipses. The algorithm identifies these dense regions and links them together, forming clusters that reflect the true structure of the data. Let's see how this works with a simple example. One of the strengths of density-based clustering is its ability to handle noise and outliers. Points that do not belong to any dense region are labeled as noise. This means the algorithm can effectively ignore irrelevant or unusual data, focusing only on meaningful clusters. This feature is particularly useful in real-world applications where data is often messy and contains anomalies. Most well-known density-based clustering algorithm is DBSCN, which stands for Density-Based Spatial Clustering of Applications with Noise. DBSCN groups together points that are closely packed and marks points in low-density regions as outliers. It requires two main parameters, epsilon, which defines the neighborhood radius, and min-PTS, the minimum number of points required to form a dense region. Let's break down how DBSCN works step by step. Epsilon parameter in DBSCN defines the radius of a neighborhood around a data point. If other points fall within this radius, they are considered neighbors. Choosing the right epsilon value is crucial. Too small and clusters may be fragmented. Too large and distinct clusters may merge. The optimal value depends on the dataset and often requires some experimentation or visualization to determine. Min-PTS parameter sets the minimum number of points required to form a dense region. If a point has at least min-PTS neighbors within its epsilon radius, it's considered a core point and can start forming a cluster. Points with fewer neighbors are either border points or noise. Setting min-PTS too low may result in many small clusters, while too high may miss meaningful groupings. Typically, min-PTS is set based on the dimensionality of the data. DBSCN points are classified as core, border, or noise. Core points have enough neighbors to form a cluster. Border points are close to core points but don't have enough neighbors themselves. Noise points are isolated and don't belong to any cluster. This classification helps the algorithm build clusters naturally and ignore irrelevant data. BCN starts by picking an unvisited point and checking if it's a core point. If it is, the algorithm expands the cluster by adding all reachable points within the epsilon radius. This process continues recursively, connecting dense regions. If a point isn't a core point, it's marked as noise or a border point. This approach allows DBSCAN to discover clusters of any shape and size. DBSCAN offers several advantages over other clustering methods. It can find clusters of arbitrary shapes, doesn't require specifying the number of clusters in advance, and is robust to noise and outliers. These features make it a popular choice for many real-world applications, from image analysis to geographic data clustering. Despite its strengths, DBSCAN has some limitations. It struggles with datasets of varying densities as a single epsilon value may not fit all clusters. It can also be sensitive to parameter selection, and performance may degrade with high-dimensional data. Understanding these limitations helps us choose the right clustering method for each problem. Besides DBSCAN, there are other density-based clustering algorithms such as OptiX and HDBSCAN. OptiX addresses DBSCAN sensitivity to parameter selection by ordering points based on density. HDBaseCN extends DBaseCN to handle clusters of varying densities. These algorithms offer more flexibility and can be better suited for complex datasets. Optics, which stands for ordering points to identify the clustering structure, is designed to overcome DBaseCN's limitations with varying densities. Instead of producing a fixed clustering, Optics creates an ordering of data points that reveals the clustering structure at different density levels. This makes it easier to identify clusters with different densities in a single run. HDBaseCN, or Hierarchical Density-Based Spatial Clustering of Applications with Noise, builds on DBaseCN by allowing clusters of varying densities and creating a hierarchy of clusters. It automatically selects the best clustering based on stability, making it more robust for complex datasets. HDBaseCN is especially useful when data contains clusters of different sizes and density. Density-based clustering is widely used in image segmentation, where the goal is to partition an image into meaningful regions. By grouping pixels based on their intensity and spatial proximity, algorithms like DBaseCN can identify objects and boundaries within images, making them valuable tools in computer vision and medical imaging. In geographic data analysis, density-based clustering helps identify hotspots, such as areas with high crime rates or popular tourist destinations. By analyzing the spatial distribution of data points, these algorithms can reveal patterns that inform urban planning, resource allocation, and emergency response strategies. Density-based clustering is also effective for anomaly detection. Since noise points are naturally identified as outliers, these algorithms can flag unusual behavior in financial transactions, network security, or manufacturing processes. This capability is crucial for detecting fraud, cyber threats, or equipment failures. Businesses use density-based clustering to segment customers based on purchasing behavior, demographics, or preferences. By identifying dense groups of similar customers, companies can tailor marketing strategies, improve customer service, and boost sales. This approach is especially useful when customer groups are not clearly separated. In biology and genetics, density-based clustering helps researchers identify groups of genes or cells with similar characteristics. This can lead to discoveries about disease mechanisms, genetic variation, or evolutionary relationships. The ability to handle noise and complex structures makes these algorithms valuable in life sciences. Choosing the right parameters for density-based clustering can be challenging. Epsilon and min-PTS must be carefully tuned to match the dataset's characteristics. Visualization techniques such as k-distance graphs can help identify suitable values. Experimentation and domain knowledge are often needed to achieve the best results. Density-based clustering can be computationally intensive, especially with large datasets. Optimized implementations and data structures such as KD trees or ball trees can speed up the process. Parallel processing and distributed computing are also used to handle big data efficiently. Visualization is key to understanding clustering results. Scatter plots, color coding, and dimensionality reduction techniques like TSNE or PCA help reveal the structure of clusters. Effective visualization makes it easier to interpret results and communicate findings to others. Evaluating the quality of clustering is essential. Metrics like silhouette score, Davies-Bouldin index, and adjusted RAND index measure how well clusters are formed. These metrics help compare different algorithms and parameter settings, guiding us toward the best solution for our data. For applying density-based clustering, it's important to preprocess the data. This may involve scaling features, handling missing values, or reducing dimensionality. Proper preprocessing ensures that the algorithm can accurately identify clusters and reduces the impact of irrelevant features. Selecting the right features is crucial for successful clustering. Irrelevant or redundant features can confuse the algorithm and lead to poor results. Feature selection techniques such as correlation analysis or principal component analysis help identify the most informative variables for clustering. High-dimensional data can pose challenges for density-based clustering as distances become less meaningful. Dimensionality reduction techniques like PCA or TSNE can help by projecting data into lower dimensions while preserving structure. This makes clustering more effective and interpretable. Density-based clustering can be combined with other machine learning methods for enhanced results. For example, clustering can be used as a preprocessing step for classification or anomaly detection. Hybrid approaches leverage the strengths of multiple techniques to solve complex problems. Let's consider a real-world example: retail data analysis. By applying density-based clustering to transaction data, retailers can identify groups of customers with similar buying habits. This insight helps tailor promotions, optimize inventory, and improve customer satisfaction. In social network analysis, density-based clustering uncovers communities of users who interact frequently. By identifying these dense groups, platforms can recommend friends, target advertisements, or detect suspicious behavior. This application demonstrates the versatility of density-based methods. Environmental scientists use density-based clustering to analyze spatial patterns in data such as pollution levels or animal populations. By identifying dense regions, researchers can focus on areas of concern or interest, leading to more effective conservation and policy decisions. Several software tools and libraries support density-based clustering, including scikit-learn in Python, R's dbscan package, and commercial platforms like MATLAB. These tools provide efficient implementations and visualization options, making it easier to apply clustering to your own data. To get the most out of density-based clustering, follow best practices, pre-process your data, select appropriate features, tune parameters carefully, and validate results with metrics and visualization. Iterative experimentation and domain knowledge are key to successful clustering. Be aware of common pitfalls such as choosing inappropriate parameters, ignoring feature scaling, or misinterpreting results. Always visualize your clusters and check for meaningful patterns. Avoid overfitting by not tuning parameters solely for one dataset. Clustering research is evolving rapidly. New algorithms are being developed to handle larger, more complex datasets and to integrate with deep learning. Advances in visualization and interpretability are making clustering more accessible and actionable for a wider range of users. With the explosion of big data, clustering methods must scale efficiently. Distributed computing frameworks such as Apache Spark are enabling density-based clustering on massive datasets. This scalability opens new possibilities for real-time analysis and decision-making. As with all data analysis, ethical considerations are important. Ensure that clustering does not reinforce biases or lead to unfair treatment. Be transparent about methods and validate results to avoid unintended consequences, especially in sensitive applications like healthcare or finance. Let's recap what we've learned. Density-based clustering is a powerful technique for discovering natural groupings in data, especially when clusters have irregular shapes or contain noise. Algorithms like DBSCAN, Optics, and HDBSCN offer flexibility and robustness, making them suitable for a wide range of applications. Density-based clustering is best used when you expect clusters of arbitrary shapes, need to handle noise, or don't know the number of clusters in advance. It's especially useful for spatial data, image analysis, and any scenario where traditional methods fall short. To deepen your understanding, explore resources like textbooks, online courses, and tutorials on density-based clustering. Practice with real datasets and experiment with different algorithms and parameters to gain hands-on experience. Start with a clear understanding of your data and goals. Pre-process and visualize your data, tune parameters carefully, and validate your results. Don't hesitate to try different algorithms or combine clustering with other methods for the best outcomes. Density-based clustering is a versatile and powerful tool for uncovering hidden patterns in data. By understanding its principles, strengths, and limitations, you can apply it effectively to a wide range of problems. Keep exploring, experimenting, and learning to master this essential data science technique. Thank you for joining us on this journey through density-based clustering. We hope you now have a solid understanding of how these algorithms work and where they can be applied. Stay curious and keep exploring the world of data science.